We're here at the Master Pedal booth with Joseph. How are you today?
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here.
We are happy to be here and talk to you about what we see on this table. So why don't you tell us maybe the background story of these pedals and what brings you here?
Okay, I have multiple sclerosis, and I used to ride upright all the time with bikes, and then I had a relapse, and I couldn't do my mount regularly. My regular mount was already challenged. To get on a bike, I'd have to lay it down, step over the bike, clip in, and pedal. Same with dismounting. But when I got a relapse, I couldn't get my leg around the bike anymore. So I petitioned the VA for recumbent.
Okay.
Now, the lady who I was working with was very clever. She says, well, you got this challenge. Let's make sure, if I'm going to approve your recumbent, that you can still ride it. So I had 8 chances to pass the test. And unfortunately, we have a bike shop up in Loveland in Fort Collins called Rocky Mountain Recumbent, and they had all the adaptive equipment, all the adaptive pedals. I got to test all the standard SPD pedals, the platforms, and all the handicap pedals or challenging pedals that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So they all failed.
Didn't work for you?
Didn't work. I couldn't keep my feet on the pedals. And an interesting thing, I learned something interesting, is that I rode years with SPDs, and what happened with the platforms when I was doing the recumbent, my left heel over-rotated the spindle, and it stretched the spasm in my calf and turned it into acute tremors and disconnected my foot from the bike. So that failed, and then I tried. So the night before, I said, I got to figure out something. I'm going to pass this test. So I came home, and I took an old Catalyst pedal, which is a mountain biker's pedal, and stopped at Ace Hardware at Home Depot and got a flat bungee cord and laced it into the pedal. And I came back and I passed the test.
Nice.
So when I was driving out of the parking lot, it felt like this bike felt like as if it was propelled forward. Consequently, the name Propel is the name of my product.
Okay.
So I knew that pedal was not going to sustain. So I said I was going to have to get more engineering into it. So the VA, I said I'm going to need a few $1,000s to get in. And the University of Colorado at Fort Collins, they have an engineering lab with students. So I petitioned them to help me do the model.
Okay.
So the first model, the VA helped contribute a $1,000. The Marine Corps League, a Marine, they contributed $1,000. They paid to get the money through CSU.
Okay.
I had to put in a couple more myself. But,
of course.
But we got the first pedals, but they were all polymer, 3D printed, and they failed all miserably.
They failed in terms of structure, like they didn't hold up.
Right.
Okay.
But we got some of the basic notions down. And the early design was actually reminiscent of the early steel roller skates.
Oh.
Where we had the jaws that held the... But the thing is, the interesting thing about those, if you turn them on end, you get my product.
Ah, right.
Essentially.
Okay.
So, Avid PD from Loveland stayed as my engineering arm. Now, I was an engineer already and do all the CAD stuff, but I didn't know how to handle the material part of the engineering.
They were able to help you with that and get it together.
Exactly. So what we see here is about the 3rd generation, or this is actually the 4th or 5th generation from the CSU pedals.
Tell us basically how does this work and why is it so effective?
So to get our full power into the pedal, we have to have a device that does that. And everybody's foot is different. And if we have a cup that holds the heel, we have to be able to adjust the heel so it's centric. The arch of the foot is centric over the pedal.
Okay.
So with the pedal, we have 2 bolts that allows us to slide the cup back and forth. And the cup design itself has got brakes on it. So on the power stroke, and then the other part, because we have yaw and a pitch, we want to keep our foot from moving all over the floor. If you're doing 4-foot pedaling, your heel yaws. So in centric pedaling, we can put everything together.
Okay.
So we call this centric when it's over here, and centered when your foot is over the pedal. So that way you get maximum power. So,
which is where you began. That's what you really wanted to get out of it.
Right, getting the maximum power.
Sure. For any of the folks out there who saw what you just showed us and they think this may be the solution for them, the Propel pedal, how do they find out more about it? How do they buy them?
So actually delivering it, it's going to go through dealers.
Okay.
So yesterday was a dealer show, so people came by and I talked to them. So I'm not selling directly to the customers. The name of the pedal product is Master Pedal. The website is Master Pedal.
Sounds good.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks.